What are the pros and cons of living in Westchester? And should you be purchasing in the neighborhood of Westchester within Miami? If we haven't met, my name's Jose. I'm a real estate agent in Miami that specializes in the neighborhood of Westchester. And I'm here to give you the information you need to make the best decision for you and your family. So let's get right into it. Okay, I want to list just a couple of the pros of Westchester. It's not a city. It's actually unincorporated Miami-Dade. So that's number one. So one of the pros is that it isn't a city. There's no extra taxes. And for the most part, it's not as regulated as the other cities. So if you go to the city of Coral Gables, city of Miami Beach, all these other places, there's a lot more restrictions, and there's restrictions even on the color of the home that you can paint. So that's one of the nicer things that we have. We have a little bit more liberty when it comes to that in Westchester. So that's number one. Number two, location. So there was a study done in 2019, and our area here had 31% less crime than the Florida standard. So they haven't done this study since then. I don't have any other statistics based on that, but it is noticeable. It's much calmer. I go on walks at night. I'm able to run through here at night. I take my kids out. We go through all the areas, and the parks are safe too. So number two is location and the safetyness of it. And as a dad, it's very important to me that wherever we go live is safe. Number three, the quality of life. So you have restaurants, you have a lot of parks around. You also have very good schools. So I'm kind of grouped all that together, although it could be its own three different things, but I don't want to drag on this as it's not needed. But we have one of the largest parks in Miami, Tropical Park, and you have everything from baseball. You have a hill there. You have lakes there. You have batting cages, food trucks, Westchester Cultural Arts Center, which is this. They built this recently in order to have live events there. And you name it. I mean, there's a lot of events that go on. Not to mention, we have all kinds of different restaurants: Cuban, Colombian, Chilean. I mean, you name it, Argentinian. We have all. I just named everything in South America, but we have all sorts of different, except for Cuban, restaurants that are very, very good. So you can go there, you can eat there, and it's very good. All right, the point number four. Hurricane protection. And what do I mean about this? So typically on the storm surge map that you'll see, there's areas of evacuation and areas that you're a little bit safer. And we're on one of the safest areas that you can be. So for us, we're in most of Westchester is in flood zone X, which means that we're not really in a flood zone. That every 500 years or so, there's expected to be a flood. But in this case, we're in the safest that we can be within Miami-Dade County. So that's another thing. Most of the area doesn't require flood insurance, although there are some pockets of areas that do, or waterfront homes. So that's another pro. And the last pro is that the homes here typically have some kind of yard. So the average home here has about 7,500 square feet. A lot of it will be divided in half, and the backyard you'll have some lots. Some we have a builder's half acre, 10,000 square feet or more. So you have all kinds of variety here. In Olympia Heights, it's typical for the 7,500. Westchester, some of the lots are a little bit smaller, and then some of them are bigger. You have some actually about an acre. So you do typically have yard here in the area. And the last thing I want to talk about in the pros is the price. So for the location where you are and the lower crime rate and not being incorporated, you're still very central to the beach. You're still very central to other districts, Coral Gables, and you're not far from anything. You're between the two expressways, the Turnpike and the Palmetto, the 830, the 826, and you can head out wherever you want. Now, that comes with one of the cons, which is the traffic. We're between two of the expressways. So if you do try to come during rush hour, and this is really anywhere in Miami, it isn't just exclusive to Westchester, you are going to have more traffic. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. And that's going to be anywhere, really. Another cost is that the homes here are a little bit more expensive than the Miami standard. So if you look at the Miami median price, it's currently at $540,000. And here in in Westchester, just from this last update, it was at $624,000. So you're looking at it's more expensive to live in this area than what's normal here. Now you just have to also see the crime rate, the what you get for the home, how big are the homes, all that, so that way you can make the best decision. Another thing, con, is the years built. So we're not the oldest part of Miami. So most of Shenandoah was built in 1920s, 1910s, 1930s. So you have a lot of homes built then. Westchester was mostly built in the 1950s, 1960s. So although it's comparatively, it's not the oldest part of Miami, they're still older homes. They were built for vets after the World War II. And the last con is that although we have beautiful winters, our summers are brutal. It is very hot in Miami. And it's a little bit more manageable if you're in the coast where you constantly get a breeze, you can dip in the water, and it's just a little bit different. However, when you go inland, you can definitely feel that heat. It's not much harder. It just feels like it sits more. So in the summers here, it is hot. And if you could choose your perfect ideal way, what I would do is I would stay here in the winters and go somewhere beautiful in the summers. So that way I'm not getting eaten by mosquitoes and I can really enjoy some hikes, maybe some mountains, things that you don't see here. And then enjoy the rest of the year here next to the beach, good restaurants, and have your own little yard. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, I put together my for sale by owner guide. So how to sell your house by yourself if you've never done it. That way you can see. Most people are going to tell you it's not possible. I put this guide together. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks. So that way you can see exactly what's the process. And if it for some reason doesn't work for you, then we can have a conversation on how to properly work, what options I might be able to possibly bring to the table. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.